In this video, I'm going to talk about Notepad++. It's a text edited tool. It's a free tool which is available, which is like an open source tool base. So you can use Notepad++ to use in for your day-to-day activities in terms of development. So if you have a piece of code, if you have a piece of text, if you have some secrets or identifiers or anything which you want to copy in a Notepad, you can use Notepad++ tool. Now, this does not come inbuilt with Windows. This is different from what Windows has. So Windows has a Notepad editor. This is completely different than that. So this is like a kind of a third-party tool. So you can read more about Notepad++ if you search in Google, and you can see that Notepad++ is a free and open source text and source code editor to be used with Microsoft Windows. Now, how does this look? Notepad++, once you install it, it will look something like this. Now, I have installed 8.6.5 version. So Notepad++ is currently in development. So you get a lot of updates every month with a lot of fixes and new features and there are like a lot of bug fixes which happens every time every month which they releases, and then you can install and update those versions as per your need. Now, this is how the Notepad++ looks like. Now, earlier in Windows 10 version, you had a Notepad, and within Notepad, you did had a tabbed interface. But in Windows 11, you can see that Notepad, just simple Notepad editor, has a tabbed interface. So you can create a lot of tabs. You can open the document. So I'm just writing something in this document. I'm writing something in this document. So I can uh, have all those documents opened in a single application in a tabbed interface. Now, this was all inspired by Notepad++. So that brings to the first feature, which I'm going to explain, that you can open or you can create multiple Notepad++ tabs. So if I click on new over here, or if I just click on file new, then I'm technically opening all the new documents. So new 10 is one of the documents. So this is one document. New 11 is another document. So like this, I can create multiple document which I can see in a tabbed interface. Okay, so if you have a code in one, so let's assume you have a JavaScript code in this particular document, you can have some credentials over here. So maybe some credentials uh, like this. You say, take for example, if you're saving some credentials or secret, you can do that. And now the beauty of this Notepad++ is you need not even save this document. Okay, so if I'm just closing this document, I'm not saving any of the document. Most of the documents are unsaved, like you can see a star over here. So that means new 12 is unsaved, new 11 is unsaved, new 10 is unsaved. And if I close this Notepad++, and if I again go back and open Notepad++, then it will restore the state. Now, how does it restore the state? So it there is a setting for that. So by default it is turned on. So if you go to settings and if you go to preferences, and here you will see something called as backup. So if you click on backup, it says remember the current session for the next launch, enable session snapshot and periodic backup, and backup in every 7 seconds. And this is where the backup path where it will store the information of the open document. So you need not even save, you just click on new and then you start authoring your content. So that's the beauty of Notepad++. So it automatically saves the session snapshot and it automatically uh, takes the backup. Okay, now let me open some content. So I have just lot of some websites. So I'll just open some content over here. And if you see over here, if I just paste this content, okay, so I'm just pasting this content. Now, for me, if you see here, it has opened in a proper way. Like what it has done, it has word wrap the content. Okay. Now, sometimes if the word wrapping is disabled, then if you see here in view, I have this word wrap enabled. If I disable this word wrap, then all the text will flow. If you see, the text has been flowing or in a horizontal fashion. So you need to scroll actually to view the content. And if you do not want that thing to happen, then you can just say view and word wrap. So this is how the word wrapping works. And even if you minimize, it will word wrap it accordingly. So that's the third feature, which is a word wrap feature, which is a good feature. It is also present in Notepad and Notepad uh, for Windows 10 and Windows 11. So this is not something new, but then this is also an important feature to know. Now, so let's assume if you have a requirement that the first paragraph needs to be in, say, uppercase. Now there is no functionality in out of the box Notepad. If you use Notepad plus plus, and if you want to convert the case, either uppercase or lowercase or any other case, what you can do, you can select the content and go to edit. So edit menu, and there is something called as convert case to. So you can create change to uppercase. So I'll select uppercase, then it will everything will change to uppercase. If I want to make this change to lowercase, so I'll click on edit and go to convert case to and make it lowercase. So everything will be in lowercase. And if you again change your mind, and if you want to make this in a proper, say, convert case to proper case, now, or a sentence case. So proper case is basically capitalizing the first character of the word. Sentence cases, like how you write a sentence, the first character would be a uppercase and then it will follow the sentence. So if you see over here, after full stop it will have uppercase, right? So like this, the first character is uppercase and anything which is in full stop after full stop will be uppercase. So like this you can change the content. So that's the uh, another feature of Notepad plus plus. Then then there is something called as a dark mode and theming. Okay, so how do you get into the dark mode? Now this is like a regular mode. So if I go to settings and if I go to style configurator, then within style configurator, I will see various styles over here. Like I have a global override, uh, C sharp, and then if you see there is a whole bunch of things which you can configure. Now here we can set the theme based on our requirement. So select theme is default. I can have a choco theme. So if I select choco theme, this it will look something like that. The background is brown and foreground is kind of grayish color. I can have an edge color. I can have a multi-edit caret style. I can so what I'm doing is that I'm selecting a choco theme and then I will edit various foreground or background color as per my need. Now, if you do not want to go into that nitty gritty, just change the theme from here. So let's go one by one. This is the B spin theme, Blackboard, Choco, Dance, Dark Mode default, Deep Black, Hello Kitty. So like this, depending on your requirement, you can change the theme. Okay. Some people like it to use like a kind of a PowerShell kind of a thing. So this is a Vim editor look. Then you have a Zenburn, and you have a Ruby, Plastic Code of Obsidian, Mossylon. So like this, you can pick up whatever theme you want. Okay. So we're not going to make any change. I'll just show you how you can make those changes over here. So that's about dark mode and themes. Now, now if you see over here, so let's assume this is like a big document. Okay. So let me add some more content. Okay. So let me copy this content again and again, and let me paste this. So it's a huge document. Now, if you're reading a huge document and if you want to scroll and if you want to just have a look into the middle section of the document, then you can use scroll bar. But then if the document is too big, then it becomes very difficult to navigate to the correct or desired content. So in that case, what you can do, you can go to view, and there is an option for viewing the document map. So if I click on document map, the document map will be visible on the right hand side. So you can scroll by clicking on the document map. So if I click here, if I want to see the middle section of the document, I'll just click here and then you can navigate to the middle section. So this is where, like this is like one of the functionality of the integrated development environment, whereby if you have a long code written, then you can actually navigate just by looking into the document map. So this is also one of the important feature of Notepad plus plus. Right. Now, if you see over here on the top bar, so let me show you this part. This part is the tabbed interface which displays the open document. So I have a document named as new 1, new 2, new 3, new 4, new 5, new 6, and like this I have new 10, new 11. I can save this document with whatever name I want, but I haven't saved that. But This is how the document looks like. Now, there is a setting again. If you go to view and if you see view document list, now here on the left hand side you will see all the document listed, right? So if I click on new 11, then I'll be navigating to new 11 tab, new 12 tab. Now why this is important is because the real estate on the horizontal side is very less. So if you have more documents open, then it will be very difficult to navigate. So what if we have something on the left hand side, left hand navigation, and you can open this document very easily and quickly. And if you do not want this document list, you can close this. If you do not want the document map, you can close this from here. So if you want it back, go to view and then go to document map or document list and open it. So this is also a nice way to navigate to the multiple documents available. Then now think about it, like if you're authoring something and if you're very picky about all the special characters within your document. Okay, so if you are like a author, okay, and if you're very concerned about the spaces and tabs and all those things, then how do we track how many spaces, how many tabs exist within the document? So let's put some tab in the document. Okay, so this is a document and then I'm putting one tab, then I'm putting another tab, I'm putting a space, and then something, I'm just writing something. Okay, in this document you can only see characters, right, like the alphanumeric characters or any characters which you have, but you don't see the tabs, the spaces, right? So in order to view that, if you see on the menu, you see this icon, it says show all characters. Okay, so if you click here, then watch what happens. Here you will see after this line there is CR, carriage written line feed, carriage written line feed, and this arrow indicates tab. And the tab and all you can actually control, whether you want a 4 character tab, 8 character tab, 16 character tab, 32 character tab. You can decide, you can define in Notepad editor. So it's also a nice visual interface to see how many carriage written or line feed you have put in. So in a document, if you have put an additional enter or a carriage written line feed, then we can, like easily remove that while publishing the document. So that's another way to look into the show all characters. So I'll just turn this off. Then we have another option, like say, take for example, you have this document. Okay, so it's a big document. Now let me make a copy of another document. So take for example, if I have this new 12 and I'm making a copy of this document and I want to compare maybe 10 and 11, 10 and 12 document. Okay, new 10 and new 12. So what I'm going to do, so if I want to see this document side by side, first I'll close this document list. I want to compare new 10 and new 12 document. So then what I can do, I'll just right click on new 10 and I'll say move document, move to other view. So I'll just say move to other view. Then you will see two different sections for comparison. So you have new 10 and here you can open new 11, change.log or any other document. In our case, I'll just open new 12 and here I have new 10. I can control the zoom level. So I can uh, make it big, make it small, whatever way I want. And then I can scroll parallelly as well. Okay, so if you see here, I'm just scrolling here. And then once I'm doing that actual comparison, I can see that, oh, this does not have a comma or this does not have this, and then I can do that 1:1 comparison. So if it is very good way of viewing the document side by side. So you can open multiple documents side by side. Now over here, if you just do a you can just adjust the spacing. So if you want to have like a 50-50% real estate, then you can do that. Also, there is a rotate to right. So if I do a rotate to right, I'll just on this arrow, I'll just click on and then say rotate to right. Moment I do that, I will see this sections one on top of other. Okay. So if you see on the top, there's new 12 document. On the bottom, you have new 10 document. So like this, you can basically use the comparison feature. Also, if you do not want this completely, you can just put it on the bottom and then you will just see the first tab, right? So this is how you can make use of the move document to other view. Then In this document, if you want to count how many characters exist, so then there is a feature called as, if you go to view, and there is something called a summary. So if you click on summary, then it says in this particular document you have characters without line endings is 84,471, words 14617, lines 341, document length 85,151. So like this, it will give a nice summary. Now this is like Word document, in Word document, if you want to know exactly what are the length, what is the line, what is the line number, position, and all those things, you can easily get those information just by clicking on view summary. So this is useful for developers who, if they are testing, say, text content. Say if you want to check, say if the text box support 255 characters, and now you put in some more content, then you can actually count how many characters exist. So if I just copy, say, some text, and if I click on new document, and if I just paste this, then if I want to know what is the length, it will show you length as 192, or and I can even say view summary, and then it will give you the document length 192. Okay, moving on to the next feature, language. Now this is good for developers, so I can even type HTML. If I know HTML syntax, I can just type in HTML, right? Now this thing which you are typing, this is kind of a text document, right? So I'm not able to see that syntactical feel. Okay, so in order to get that syntactical feel, what you can do is, like, against any document, just go to the language option. Okay, and this is an HTML document which you are authoring. So if we go to H and just say HTML, watch what happens. It has automatically formatted that into HTML text. Okay, and here, if you start typing the information, it will automatically give you some sort of an IntelliSense. So you can actually author that HTML document. And like this, it will give you a syntactical structure. You can minimize, you can maximize. So like this, you can author your own HTML document. Now this is only not only applicable for HTML, but then if you have a C sharp document, or a C++, Camel, COBOL, Coffee script, or if you have a E script, or if you have a D language or GD script, there are a whole bunch of information over here. So if you are writing a JavaScript, so let's assume this document is a JavaScript, I'll put JavaScript over here, and then I can write my function. Okay, function. So like this, I can define the JavaScript, and then I can write my JavaScript, and it will give you like whole bunch of intelligence, tapped interface, maximize, minimize behavior. So all those things can be done over here. Next option is, we will be working on something called as plugins. Okay, now, say, take for example, if you have the markdown file, right? So markdown file is basically, if I have something to write in H1, I'll just put a hash, and then I'll say Girish. And then if I want to put something in H3, I'll put 3 hash, and I'll just say Girish. And then if I want to put a say horizontal rule, I can put something like this. And if I want to put something in a code base, I can put it in this fashion, and I can put a lot of things. So you need to know that how to use a MD file or a Markdown file. If you know that, then you will be pretty much aware about the syntax. So I've already covered in one of the videos, so you can go into the channel and look into the how what is a Markdown file. But for this video purpose, I'll just put some syntax. Now, if I want to view the output of the Markdown file, then there is no direct way to view this. So if you go to language, and if you go to M, there is nothing called as markdown file. Okay, so in order to view the markdown file, you can just go to plugins, go to plugins admin, and in the search, just type markdown. The moment you do markdown, then there will be markdown panel and markdown viewer plus plus. Click on markdown viewer plus plus and click on install. So what it will do, it will say, okay, I'm going to install this, let's restart it. And then once it restarts, it will open the Notepad plus plus document. And once it opens, so it has already opened now. So let me show you this document over here. This is the one which we prepared. Here you will see one option. You click over here, then you will actually see the output of the markdown file. So this is H1, this is H3, then this is a horizontal line in markdown, then you have a code base, and then you have lorem ipsum written with a with this text. So like this, you can build your own. So I can build my own table as well. So if I put table 1, and then so like this, if I put, say, table 1, and then table 2, And then if I put 1 2 3, if I put pipe and then 1 2 3 and then pipe 1 2 3 and then pipe, and this is again a pipe, some content, and then some. So like this I can even build that table as well. Now some of the syntax may not closely be reflected over here, as you see over here. I've taken the specific example, but not all the syntax will be applicable, but then all the basic general markdown syntax, you can view it over here. Now that's about markdown. I'll just close this. Then the next option is for spell check. Now if you have this document and if you want to do a spell check, okay, so let me write some content over here. So this is an awesome video. Okay, so I've made some spelling mistake over here. Now if you want to do a spell check, F7 will not work. Okay, so for that you need to go to plugins admin, and then type for spell check. Now there is something called as D spell check, and there might be other things as well. I'll just click on D spell check, click on install. Yes, it will restart, it will install it. Once it is installed, you will have the plugin for checking the spelling. Now this is a text. Okay, now there is a spell check document automatically. So if I click over here, still it is not doing a spelling check. Now it is still not doing a spelling check if I even if I click over here. Now the problem is the system should know which language are you actually referring over here. So in my case, I'm currently using say English language, say English Australia. Okay, so then what you can do, go to plugins and then see D spell check is installed. Click on D spell check and then go to change current language. Now there's no language installed. Go to download language, and here it will be pointed to the GitHub library. And here from here you can just say English and whatever English language you want, English Australia, Canada, South Africa. I'll just select English Australia and I'll say install selected. Then it will install the language and then it is installed. Now here you will see that it has given you the spell check. So uh, if I correct this, say awesome, and then if I just type in video, then it will automatically correct the spelling. So it will not correct the grammar, but it will correct the spelling. So that's why I need to make that change in the and over here. So like this, you can do a spell check. Now, there's another thing which I want to show you, which is an interesting feature. So take for example, if you have a tag, okay, so I'm just writing tag, okay, and then some, and then text, and then tag. Okay, so take for example, you have this HTML tag or XML tag or any tag, and then you have multiple copies of it, and then you have something here, and then some text, and then you have some tag. Okay, and then you have some tag over here. So let me write this tag. Now take for example, if you have this code base. Okay, so I've just made up some code base. Now if I want to change the first 5 lines of tag, okay, so instead of tag it should be tagged. Okay, now I have an option to just copy tagged, and then type in manually over here, but I'm not going to do that. Okay, because there is a much better way in Notepad. So what I'm going to do, i'm I'm going to press alt. Okay, so if I press alt, okay, if I click here, if I press alt, and if I select this now, okay, if I select all this thing, and now if I want to replace tag with say HTML, see what happens. Now I'm doing a multi-line edit. Okay, so let me show you again. Let me click outside. If I want to change HTML with body, okay, so then what I can do, first click wherever you want. Okay, press alt button, and then you select this and select whatever row you want, and then just type in say body, and then it will change all the lines over here. Now this is one way of making those change. Then there are other different ways. You can use control, and then you can use even multi-line editing from a perspective. Like I've just changed the lines which are in a sequential order. Okay, what if I want to change something random, because I can't just select alt and then I can't select the other line, right? For multi-line editing, what you need to do is go to settings and preferences, and here you need to enable this multi-line. So if it was disabled, click on tab bar multi-line, click on close. Now the benefit of multi-line is the the text which you're changing need not be continuous. So if you select this tag, okay, so if you're selecting the fourth item over here, press Control, select the fifth item, select the line number 12, select line number 19, and select line number 15. Now we have selected all this random item, and then I can just change the text to say HTML. So all the tag for the selection item will be changed to HTML, as you see over here. And I can just type. So if you see here, I'm randomly typing on multiple lines. Okay, so this is also one of the features. So that's how we can do multi-line editing in Notepad++. So that's it, folks. These are some of the feature which I have shown you, which you can use in Notepad++. Now, Notepad++ is a friend of developers. So basically, I would advise you guys to use Notepad++ because this is like a handy tool to put some snippets, put some code, put some random items, and then you need not even save this. It'll save the session, and then whenever you want, you can open the Notepad++. You can close the Notepad++. You can save the Notepad++ content, and you can do a whole bunch of things. It is kind of, I would say, a mini IDE for developer. Thanks for watching.